Hello YouTube, how's it going? I've got a DVD update here for you. But I don't have any of the DVDs here with me that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to try to remember them off the top of my head. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is soon after the last episode of Lost. No, actually it was before the last episode of Lost. Well, anyway, forget all that. I was in New Mexico. And I was taking the train. Hang on. My phone's ringing. Hey, that was my super cool Lost ringtone. That was my friend calling. Anyway, back to whatever I was talking about before. Right. The DVDs that I bought. I was in New Mexico. And since I drove down there, I decided that I was going to take the train back instead of fly back. I left the car there. And anyway, I needed something to do on the train. So I decided that I needed a new TV show that I hadn't seen yet. And I was looking around, and I decided that I would watch Battlestar Galactica. In New Mexico, it was very difficult to find the first season of Battlestar Galactica. So I found the miniseries DVD, which is in the first season DVD box set. But I got the miniseries DVD as well. So I watched that, and that was awesome. So I decided to find the first season. I had to get it on Amazon. So anyway, I got the first season, and the second season, and the second and a half season, and the Razor DVD, which I didn't watch until after the third season. But I also got the third season because it came out while I was on the train. So there you go. I got all of Battlestar Galactica, and I watched it all in 3 days, and it was really intense. Now, what do I have to say about Battlestar Galactica? The miniseries was awesome. I was highly entertained the entire time. The first season was okay. It wasn't as good as the miniseries, I thought, but by the end of it, you're like riveted and you can't stop watching. Anyway, the second season was awesome. And it goes really good. And the funny thing about it was that I was getting to the end of the first half of the second season, and I had to change trains in Chicago, and right when I'm getting to the end of this second half of the second season is when you find out about Pegasus and all that sort of stuff, and like the crazy evil Pegasus admiral, I forget her name, Kane or something. Anyway, it was like making me really nervous because I was like having to change trains. It was like a cliffhanger, and I decided I wasn't going to start watching the next part until I was on the next train from Chicago to New York. And anyway, it was just kind of like extreme apprehension. Anyway, so the second half of the second season was pretty cool. Now the third season, I thought, had some really cool stuff in it, and it started off really cool, but it just kind of got boring and a little tedious to finish watching. And I think most of that was because most of it had nothing to do with the story. It was just episodes that had nothing to do with anything. And also, a lot of the characters went on these new, they were like different people. I mean, I understand there was a lot of crazy stuff happened to them. The Cylons attacked their new planet and all this crazy shit and kept them in detention centers, and there were suicide bombers and everything. But the characters weren't the characters that I really liked anymore. So I was a little disappointed. But anyway, it was pretty good. I watched Razor, and Razor was interesting to watch, although I didn't, it was basically cool because of all the flashback scenes, which had like the original Cylons and all that stuff. And anyway, season 4 starts on Friday. That's going to be cool. I'm going to have to TiVo that because I think I have to work. Anyway, what else did I get? I also got some other DVDs. I got Braveheart. There was a nice 2-disc special edition DVD that was on sale on Target for like $8. And I got Beowulf, the unrated director's cut, which, I hadn't seen, I didn't really think very much of, but when I watched it, I was like, wow, this movie's really cool, and it was very entertaining, and it was really cool. Then I got Live Free or Die Hard to just finish up my Die Hard collection. It's one of those movies that I kind of bought and didn't watch and put it right on the shelf. I mean, I'd seen it before like 2 or 3 times on the internet, and I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on a plane and on the internet. Anyway, put that DVD right on the shelf with the other Die Hard movies. I need to watch it. Then I got some Blu-rays. I got No Country for Old Men, which is really cool. I got I Am Legend, which apparently on DVD has a different ending than it had in the theater. And I thought it was pretty entertaining. Most people said that it sucked in the theater, and I was reading a review on IGN.com, which is where I frequent that site quite frequently. Frequent it frequently. Anyway, they said that the new ending made the movie significantly better, and I can't really imagine this movie without the ending that I saw. So, that was a pretty cool movie. Now, an interesting note about I Am Legend and Battlestar Galactica. The other night I had this crazy nightmare where the world was being taken over by zombie Cylons. That's right. There were zombies who were actually Cylons. Like the Cylons had figured out some way to make their, human robot people, but then they bit people and you became one of them too. And I woke up and I was really scared to go outside. Anyway, the last thing that I got was The Brave One on Blu-ray. And I fucking hated that movie. I thought it was the stupidest movie I've ever seen. First of all, I'm not even going to go into it. But the one thing that bothers me straight off the get-go is Saeed gets killed. You can't kill Saeed in a movie. That's one thing. Second of all, Saeed and Jodie Foster. I'm talking about Saeed from Lost. He's in the beginning of the movie. Anyway, Saeed and Jodie Foster have a German Shepherd dog, and they're walking the German Shepherd in Central Park when it runs off, and some Hispanic guy takes it and then decides that he's gonna hassle these people, and then he kills Saeed and beats the shit out of the other one. And the dog, a German Shepherd dog, just sits there and doesn't even bark. It doesn't do shit. What kind of dog is that? Especially a German Shepherd dog. I mean, those dogs are vicious and they're very loyal, so it wouldn't have let those guys do anything to Saeed and Jodie Foster. So straight off the bat, the whole movie was flawed, and then the rest of it was just kind of like that. So don't bother watching that if you haven't seen it. Anyway, I think that's all for my DVD update for you today. And hopefully, I will see you later.